Nice. Welcome everybody to a new iCONNCT University on this great Friday. We finally have a little bit of rain this week. I know I appreciate the rain sometimes. Free car washes and free lawn care. Just kidding. We actually have a really good episode for you all today. And it was a request that we had on, I believe it was last Friday, from one of the agents that usually is regular on this, and I think he's heading over here right now, clicking into here. And it's regarding funnels. And I do want to talk about the fundamentals of funnels and just setting them up. What are they? The goal of them, the elements that make up a funnel, and just overall, just the foundation of setting up funnels. Here he is, Jonathan. This is a good one for you, man.
Yes.
And so I do want to get into that. So we here at iConnect, we set up a lot of these on a daily basis. Like literally, we're about to run another email campaign out to 10,000 people a day, and it all starts here. Like this is the blueprint of how to set up any sort of marketing campaign that you want. For those of you that weren't here when I was talking earlier, I was talking about the different ways that real estate agents are generating leads for themselves. Every single, like the root, the core of creating a really good door knocking, cold calling, email marketing, social media marketing, organic content marketing strategy is a funnel. And just setting up, first of all, what is the buyer journey? And then based on that buyer journey, what are the elements that I need in order to create this marketing campaign, right? And so there's lots to dive into here, so I do want to keep it high level and not, I really want to keep this like a fundamental, keep this at like a fundamental level and an elementary level, because I know this is, I know I haven't heard about funnels talked about in the real estate industry, maybe because we don't talk about them often enough. And so I do want to introduce this in very like funnels 101, if you will. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras. I have my handy dandy Remarkable here. And so I just want to get into the fundamentals of setting up a funnel. There's 3 questions that I ask myself all the time before I am setting up any sort of funnel. First and foremost, what is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish here with this marketing strategy, right? And so for email campaigns, what I'm trying to accomplish is inbound leads for my salespeople. That's what I want. I want to increase the amount of inbound leads. For maybe another email campaign, I want responses, right? I want people to reply to me, right? For Facebook ads, I want them to go into my messenger. There's a goal that you have with every single one of the funnels that you create. And usually that goal is the action that you want the consumer to take when they go through your funnel. Right? It's the plain and simple. What is the action that I want the consumer to take? And so I'm just going to put here, action. We want consumer to take. An example of this is for email campaigns, replies, right? For Facebook ads, I've seen Giovanni wants to know more about Facebook ads. For Facebook ads is either clicks. So I'm going to do FB ads. It's clicks. Or, it's mainly clicks because the click goes into the messenger. And so the messages. And so that's my goal. What is the goal that we're trying to accomplish here with this marketing campaign, with this funnel that we are setting up, right? Next, who are we targeting? Right? Now I can go down a rabbit hole. For those of you that know me on here already, you all know that I am fascinated by consumer journeys, right? What is the journey that a consumer went through in order to buy something? And I'm not going to get too far into it, but it all stems with problems. What are the problems? Every single time I go into target audiences, and more specifically, I like to call them ICPs. And what this is an ideal customer profile. And this is more than just a buyer in my city. So a buyer in my city is a target audience, right? And that's good enough to start there, right? And so let's just start there. I don't want to get too confusing with the ICPs. And so a consumer in your city, the more detailed that you make this, the better it is, right? Because you're going to understand and completely understand what you need to do in order to get in front of them when you understand their journey as a buyer. How did they get to picking up the phone and calling a real estate agent is what I always am fascinated by. This is one of the main reasons why I always ask you all, what lead gen strategies are you doing? What challenges are you running into with doing these lead gen strategies? When it comes to tech, what issues are you running into? And I really want to learn as much as I can from you all in order for us to create better content for you, to create better email marketing, subject lines, descriptions, etc. And so who are we targeting, right? And so for this, like an example of this is, and I'm going to show you how detailed I get with this. And so let's actually use one of the ones that somebody did. I was doing FB ads for new construction. So let's do new construction buyers who are moving in state. So they are migrating from a different state into our state, and they're wanting to buy a brand new home. And again, I can go into way further detail in that. Again, there's lots of like psychographics, demographics. There's this thing called an actual pick chart, which is a problem identification chart, where you actually go in to what is the problems that these individuals are experiencing, what are the root causes of these problems, and then how are these problems actually affecting my consumer, right? And so again, that's like that's like funnels 102, 103. And so I do want to keep this just surface level for you all. So for now, our target audience, we want to choose somebody who's trying to go from point A to point B. And so for this one example, we have new construction buyers who are moving in state. They sold their home over here, or they finished renting or whatever it is, and they're coming into and migrating into my state, into my neighborhood, and their main goal is to buy new construction homes, right? Okay, so now that we know the goal, right? And actually, let's actually use Facebook ads. So now that we know the goal of I want to get the attention of new construction buyers that are moving in state to my area, and they probably sold a home before or whatever it may have you, right? And we're going to use like the modality to get their attention is through Facebook, and specifically Facebook ads. And what I want them to do, I want them to message me. And for the sake of looking at like the next one, which is the elements, I'm not going to get into the actual creating of landing pages, creating of sales copy, creating of any of that nature. I'm just going to go over the actual elements that you need and that to consider to do when you are running these marketing campaigns, specifically using the example of Facebook ads. And so we know who we're targeting, and we know what platform that we're going to do it on. And so now, what are the elements that I need in order to get in front of this individual? And so, for Facebook ads, obviously, since we're doing it on Facebook, I am going to need the Facebook ad, right? So I'm going to try to make this as big as possible for you all. So I'm going to need the Facebook ad. And now, this Facebook ad actually consists of more things within it, right? And so I'm going to need to set my budget. So basically in Facebook ads, it's called the ad set, right? I have to set that up. I'm also going to have to choose my audience. I'm also going to have to choose the campaign type. Right? I'm also going to have to create so I'm just going to move this down a bit. So I'm also going to have to create the ad creative, which usually consists of an image or video. I'm also going to need the, with the ad creative, the sales copy, right? And that's just Facebook. So in my brain, when Andrew comes to me, when Lainey comes to me, and they're like, hey, I need a Facebook ad, my brain goes to these three questions. What's the goal? What are we trying to accomplish? Who are we trying to target? And then what are the elements that I need in order to set up this campaign, right? And so if I was setting up for new construction and trying to get in contact with somebody in new construction, I would want, so in the ad set, we would also have to choose our area so that we are, so the area to target within Facebook ads, right? And so there's lots of little nuances that come along with Facebook ads, but this is, again, keeping it very high level. So we're going to choose the target, the area to target. And then, so for new construction, since they are moving, and see, this is to the lack of my knowledge, I don't completely understand people who are migrating from this state to this state. So I would do a little research. I may research on ChatGPT. I may use ChatGPT to research that demographic on the internet. And the reason being is because I want to learn about what's triggering that move, right? Because that's what's going to have me come up with my sales copy. So for example, if I learned that the majority of people that are migrating from this state to this state, they've already sold their home and then they're renting somewhere where they're at before moving to this actual state. If I learned about that information, say that was the case, that's just a hypothetical, let's just assume that that is the case here, then my sales copy is going to resonate with that. And it's literally going to say, hey, are you wasting money on the property that you're renting after you sold your home because you're trying to move to this state and you're looking for a new construction property? You see how detailed that sales copy is? It's like I'm speaking directly to that person. And so, but anyways, I sometimes get lost in some of these elements, so I'm just going to, take a step out of there. And so we need the ad set up, which is choosing our audience, choosing the area that we're going to target. We're going to choose the campaign type. And within Facebook, I do know that this is where you're choosing, like, do I want clicks? Do I want messages? Do I want to send them to a landing page? Where do I want to send them, right? And so ad creative, campaign type, choose audience. We're going to need the sales copy for the actual ad. And then what also I need, so that's the Facebook ad in itself. And then what I also need is messenger bot, chat bot setup, right? So because what I'm doing is I am targeting them on Facebook and then I'm sending them to a messenger bot. And I'm just going to diagram this out. I'm a very visual person. And so this is how I draw out my funnels. So I go FB, ad, and then this is basically the stage that the buyer is on. And so they are then going to FB Messenger, right? So all I'm doing is just visualizing their journey. That's it. And then what fills each one of these components up is the elements that are here. So in the Facebook ad, we have to set up the ad set. We have to choose our audience. We have to choose the ad creative that's going to get their attention. We then have to set up we have to create the ad creative, which is the video and the image along with the sales copy. And then we have to choose the area that we're going to target. And then we have to set up the messenger bot. And so those two elements are, to be honest, the only elements, and this is why I love actually Facebook ads. Those are the only two elements that you need in order to set up this campaign. Now, there are a couple other elements that I can think of. So that's just setting up within Facebook. Now, another thing that I have to do, and forgive me if this gets overwhelming, but another thing along with the Facebook that I have to set up is the automation to my CRM. right? And then my brain starts going into like, what are all of the little, micro elements that make up automating the CRM? Am I going to go into, do I need to set up a Zap, right? Do I have to create a Zapier like if then? And what Zapier is, it's basically that. It's basically you're connecting two softwares and then you're having them talk to each other. And so what I would want to do is I would want to set up an automation within my CRM, whether you all are using Lofty, whatever you all are using, FUB, whatever you're using. I would then create a Zap that says when somebody messages me on Facebook, I then want them to go into my CRM. I want them to be tagged accordingly. So I want to tag them, whatever it is, new construction buyer, right? Right? There could be a couple more tags like the area, right? I want to tag them as new construction buyer. What I also want to do is, I know some of you all have drip campaigns, and so I want to input them into a drip campaign. And so I'm just going to put drip campaign, right? And then I also want within my CRM to trigger a text to me, so I'm aware. And so I know I know if you guys are like me, I don't really have all the notifications on all my apps because sometimes it gets overwhelming for me. And so what I do is all of the leads that come in to our CRM, they are then, there's an internal notification within our CRM that just notifies me. And so now think about it. So now think about everything we've done. We've defined our audience. We set up the goal of this campaign, which is to get messages from our audience. And then now we're going into the automation of this, right? And so now you can see how this funnel is starting to develop. So now I'm going to build the funnel one more time. And again, this is the visualization of what the buyer is going through. And so you guys should see our funnels. They're absolutely nuts because it looks like this humongous logic tree. So they're starting off at Facebook ad. This is the first touch point for that a buyer has with my brand is the Facebook ad. Next, where I'm sending them is into Messenger. So Facebook ad, into Messenger, right? Let's just do that. And now they're going into my CRM, right? And so now you're starting to see how this funnel is developing. And so now maybe the next step after this is now we're going into sales, the sales aspect of it. And so we did our marketing, we got the attention of this new construction buyer. The bot spoke to them because we integrated whatever sort of conversation that influenced them to give us their email, give us their phone number, and now we're getting into the sales aspect of it. And so now they're within our CRM, and now what I have to do is I have to schedule a meeting with this individual, or let's say the bot scheduled a meeting with them, and now the next step is actual an in-person meeting. And so now, in-person meeting, right? And so now again, my thought process goes through the same thought process. All right, cool. What do I need for this in-person meeting? Well, since it's a buyer, I'm going to need my BRBC, right? I need that contract handy for when I meet them. What I also need is I need to practice my sales scripts, my buyer consult sales scripts, right? So what am I going to say to them what am I going to say to them in order to influence them to now be a client of mine? And this is the part where my, I want to say knowledge of real estate kind of goes away because I mainly deal on the marketing side, but I feel that you all understand the picture. And it's like, what do I need now? And so now we got their attention with a Facebook ad. We sent them to Facebook Messenger. They're now getting dripped on within my CRM. So maybe they got an email that said, hey, here's the top 3 things that you should do in order to move from state to state. These are 3 biggest challenges that we see new construction buyers make when they are moving from state to state, right? That's actually a really great video and piece of content, by the way, because there's a lot of people migrating from state to state. There's not only a lot of people migrating out of California, but there's a lot of people migrating into California, and specifically your area. Like, 'cause I know Amir is in the Bel Air. I believe that was the area that they're in. I forgot the actual, like, the upland area in the LA area. And I know you all are scattered out LA, OC, and Inland Empire and Palm Springs. Those are two very, like, Southern California is one of the most popular markets, to be honest, in the world. And so there's lots of people moving into California along with moving out. And so, but yeah. And so now, so let's get back to the funnel. So now look at the steps in my funnel. So it started off with an FB ad, right? So Facebook ad. And then they went to my messenger. So FB Messenger. Then they went into my CRM. And then we had an in-person appointment. Right? And now you can see basically all I'm doing and hopefully this isn't too confusing, but by the end of this is money in your pocket. That's the end of this, right? Because all I'm doing is just drawing the journey all the way to revenue. Where did I first meet this person? And then what did we do to take them to gross commission income, to sign contract? Because you can literally do this all throughout the entire funnel. Like, we're just talking about marketing and sales, but then there's a customer service aspect of this as well, to where as soon as you got that buyer BC signed, what's the next step of that? We'll have to show property. Well, what do I need to do that? I need to make sure that my car is filled up with gas. I need to make sure that I have the list of properties that they want to go out and see. I want to make sure that I set up in my CRM an automation to the date and time that we scheduled, or even better, I want to make sure that in my iCONNCT app that we have that email that is going out to them, which is automatically already done for you. And so you don't have to set it up within your CRM. And so within the iCONNCT app, when you schedule that meeting with them to go out and show them property after you sign that BRBC, that's one thing that I want to make sure is done. I want to make sure that when we go out and show property, I have a list of other properties that I'm going to show them once we actually get there. And then I didn't even talk about the pre-approval step. And so you guys probably did this within your buyer's consultation. So that in-person meeting, I want to make sure I have my lender on the phone, right? So I'm going to put lender present, right? And so you guys see how, like, my brain is just thinking about, here's the stage that a buyer is on, and what do we need to fulfill that stage in order to move them over to the next stage? That's all my brain is thinking about, right? And I could do this with anything. Email marketing, door knocking, cold calling. You can create a funnel out of every single one of these lead gen strategies, and all you're doing is making note of the touch point for every single one, and what do you need in order to increase, and now I'm getting a little detailed, what do you need in order to increase the conversion rate from touch point to touch point? How do I get more leads, in this case scenario, how do I get more leads how do I get more of the messages into in-person appointments? What do I need, and what do I need to configure in order to do that? Is it some sort of automation within my CRM? Maybe I'm not selling them correctly. Maybe my sales script needs to change, right? And so, like, you can get into just one touch point, two touch point. There's so many things to change. And now you're starting to see, like, the if you will, like, the complexity of creating marketing strategies, right? And I do want to say, like, to conclude this, and I'm just going to open it up for questions for anybody after this. I do want to say that these funnels, we can diagram these out all day, but it's all, I look at marketing and creating funnels as like science experiments, right? I think that the best real estate agents, the top producing real estate agents, the best teams that convert the highest level, the people that you all see that get the most awards, that you see in Real Trends, that you see Tom Ferry talking to, all of the top producers that you see, the reason why they're a top producer is because they created and tweaked more of these than everybody else. It's a testing game. That's all it is. We went through 1 million emails in January to come to the conclusion that we found one that's getting a 51% open rate and a 20 or 13% click-through rate. We found it. And now all that's left is just scaling it. right? And that, I mean, that's a whole different topic, which is like basically the stages of marketing campaigns from ideation to actually scaling or terminating the funnel. But again, that's another conversation. Jonathan, I told you I could talk about this all day, dude. There's so many. I'm doing my best to discipline
This
myself
is
to
so
stay.
valuable, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I'll definitely hit you up about it more. Like, this is definitely a great foundation for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, dude. Does anybody have any questions about this? Because again, like I can literally talk all day about going into each one of these. Like we can get into the data analytics of it, like how do we pull the data from this entire funnel. We can get into the automation of it, like what are the if then systems that I need to set up within my CRM. We can get into when it comes to the marketing, the actual sales copy that you're using, the video, the copy that's going into your video, the copy that's in your photo, the types of photos that you're using. Literally every single element of the funnel is an entire class within itself. And so like I can talk about this all day. Are you using ManyChat or something similar? So ManyChat, that's a great question, Amir. So for those of you who don't know, ManyChat is a chat bot that chats with the individuals that you're influencing to run the sorry. ManyChat is the software that you use to create the bot, like a more advanced bot to conversate with the people that end up clicking on your Facebook ad, right? And so, Amir, I used to use ManyChat. I know Facebook internally, like within Facebook, they've improved a lot the chatting capabilities within Facebook, and so I rely on that. Like to be honest, right now we're running a campaign where it's this exactly Facebook ad. Let me switch view. It's this exactly Facebook ad, and I want them to go into Messenger. And what I want out of this is their email address, right? That's all I want. And so I'm giving them something for free in exchange for their email address. And Facebook does a phenomenal job. So they have this automation within Facebook that allows me to ask the user for their email address. And when it prompts that ask, their email address pops up in the chat. And so now all they have to do as a user is just click their email address and then it auto populates in the messenger. And so I do know that capability is also in ManyChat as well, but I haven't like used all of the advanced features to come along with Many. I'm pretty sure there's a lot. Like I'm pretty sure there's so many benefits to ManyChat. But Facebook alone right now there's so many different capabilities that they've upgraded with their chatbots that it's sufficient enough to accomplish the generating leads for ourselves as for iCONNCT. And so, Cameron, we probably do not have time now, but we can do a class for each one of the things you discussed today. Excellent presentation. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, of course. I can dive into every single one of these. We've already done, if you guys go to our iConnect University, we've actually done a Facebook ads class where it's just setting up the Facebook ad as fundamentally as possible. We could do another one of those though. Messenger, we can maybe get into like ManyChat and how to create a chat bot so when people actually get in contact with you, there's actually messages, and then how to incorporate iConnect into that. Because I think the huge benefit that every single one of you have on here is that you're leveraging technology that no other real estate agent is leveraging in your area. And so and it's literally you being an on-demand real estate agent. Like I know there's like a couple ideas. Like I don't know if any real estate agents have done it yet, but here's an idea that I'm gonna throw out to you. Running a Facebook ad and it goes to Messenger, and the Facebook ad creative is a home, and it's maybe a very popular home, and then the call to action in there. So it's called a CTA. The call to action. My goal is for people to call me. And what I do is I go into my iConnect app, I grab the Tap Talk Tour link, and then I throw it into Messenger. And so now they get a real estate professional that they can have virtually tour that property for them. And they're scheduling a date and time through iConnect. And then another one is if I was doing open houses, and I would create a Facebook ad for that open house, and then I would take that same Tap Talk Tour link within my iConnect, and then I would say that the ad would be virtually tour this home now. And then it would take them to Messenger, and then in Messenger, it would call you through your iConnect app. Like that's technology that's not even like I haven't seen anybody with that technology. And actually, like I was like taken back when Andrew was showing that to me, and I was like, I would destroy. Like I would like, to be honest. And sorry, this is the sports individual coming out of me. I would destroy every single one of you guys with an iConnect app. If you guys went into a listen presentation, I went into a listen presentation, I had the iConnect app and you all didn't, oh my god, it's game over. It's game over. I would go in there with a big old smile, looking all spiffy, right? Just like Amir's picture, just like Steven's picture, right? And I would go in there and I'd be like, hey, look, go ask the other agent how fast you can schedule a meeting with them. Go ask them. And if there's anything more than 3 seconds, then I think I'm the right agent for you. And so, but anyways, but yeah, we can, Stephen, we can definitely do we can dive into each one of these pieces, because this is like from a high level view how to structure, funnels and marketing funnels for you all to get in front of any sort of buyer or seller that you want to get in front of. And this is the beginning stages of it. So when we're brainstorming here at iConnect, or even for the Warburton team for recruiting more agents, for setting up any sort of lead strategy, it all starts here. This is exactly what we're doing in our meetings. We're like, all right, cool. How are we going to get in front of them? Email marketing. Boom. All right, cool. What's the sales copy? Boom. That's done. What are we going to, so as soon as they click the link or as soon as they reply, what's the sales copy we're going to send to them after that? All right, boom. All right. And then after that, where are we going to put them within our CRM? What's the sales pipeline going to look like? And it's like, we're just going down the funnel. That's all we're doing. And we're giving our best guess, basically our hypothesis on driving to revenue, right? How are we going to get them to revenue? And then we just start filling in each one of these pieces, and we're constantly testing different pieces. Let's create 10 Facebook ads. Which one is the one that's going to perform the best? And then we're going to keep that one. We're going to scale it. All right, cool. Let's go to the next piece. The next piece of this. In Messenger, let's test 10 different bots, and then let's figure out the winning one, scale that one. And so now by the time you get to the end of the funnel, you have a very high converting funnel because you tested and figured out the highest performing, highest performing element of that piece of the funnel. And that in its entirety, it's obviously easier said than done. This is why they pay marketers the big bucks, because they can actually draw that whole thing out and then have a team to execute on every single piece of it. And so, but I would love to like dive into every single one of these and show you guys how you can use iConnect to integrate into every single one of them. Do you know if there's a code to create a button for Tap Talk Tour? A code? I don't think so. No, it's directly. So as soon as and maybe we could do a training on that. Like Lainey, if you can make note of that, is just a training on the Tap Talk Tour button and how it works. And like I was saying, like the strategy earlier, using it in an open house where you create the ad and then somebody clicks it and it immediately opens a video call with you all. We could do another one like that. We could do a training like that. And so if we could add that to the calendar, Lainey. Amir, there's no code or anything. There's no, I don't know if you're talking about like code for somebody to input a code or code for like actually like coding it software. And so like if you can clarify that for me.
They just have to put in their information, but they don't have to download an app or anything.
Nope.
It's just direct.
It's direct, which is nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I played with it.
Yeah. I was watching shout out to the Eagles and the Chiefs. They're playing this weekend, but 2 weekends ago when I was watching some of the football games, I seen Intuit, the tax, the company that owns the I think it's Tax Turbo or whatever they own, and also Amazon One Medical. Both of them have this technology, and those are the first two big companies that I've seen with that technology where you can literally FaceTime with your professional. And I'm telling you, like we got some really good stuff for you guys coming. It's some really good stuff. So Patricia asked, what is the average length of time to run a Facebook ad, and how much does it cost generally? So that depends. What is the average length of time to run a Facebook ad? I always aim for a week. So when you start your Facebook ad, Patricia, you're going to see there's a learning phase that Facebook goes through. And what it's trying to do, it's trying to learn who's most engaging with your ad. And usually they recommend, like, I believe it's 5 to 7 days to let Facebook really get a grasp of who we need to put this ad in front of. So I would do like 5 to 7 days. I would do at least a week. And then how much does it cost generally? And so again, so that's dependent on your goal. And so if you're just looking for impressions, those are pretty cheap. I've had ads like per, and sorry to talk so like technical, but like per through play, which is in Facebook. A through play is somebody who watches the video for 15 seconds or more. And so per through play, I've ran an ad for a real estate agent. He was a broker. He was actually recruiting, and one of his best performing like low cost ads, we were paying 0.0086 cents per through play. And it was because of the strategy that we actually ran for him. And so it was very, very cheap. And we ramped his impressions up to, I think it was like 150, 200,000 people. And so that actually seen it. And it cost us nothing. It cost us like $31. And so, but yeah, and so the cost of it depends on the goal that you're trying to get out of it. And so if you're trying to drive clicks, those are obviously a little bit more expensive. And so what I've seen usually, and again, yeah, it's hard to give a range. I don't want to say something and then you go and do it and then you're like, wait, it's not $7 a click like he said. Yeah, because it all depends. It all depends on the strategy. And so that's a good Google question, or maybe even a GPT question of what's the average cost of Facebook ads.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If I go through, I build my funnel for my specific task, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to run a Facebook ad and drive traffic to the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Do I use my funnel or do I create that within Facebook ads?
So depends. Are you trying to
I'm trying to make something like more because usually the Facebook ad, right? It's like name, phone number, email, and they can put in something fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's not verified.
Mm-hmm.
But if it like goes down a funnel, it's like, hey, like, are you interested in this? Do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
What are your issues with this? And
Mm-hmm.
give them multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
If they complete that whole funnel and then put in their information, that's a solid lead.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they're not gonna take 3 to 5 minutes out of their day for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. I do know the more questions you ask them, the lower the conversion rate is, but the higher the quality of the lead is, which means also the more it's going to cost you. And so since it's going to take,
unless you do retargeting, right? Like,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's very advanced stuff.
So what I'm talking about is like retargeting agents because I don't have anything in my downline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build up something in my downline so I can focus more on my clients.
Yep.
And that's why I'm asking. And like I said, maybe I should just ask you one-on-one.
Yeah.
And show up to the office.
Yeah. So we're building, just so you know, Jonathan. And this is kind of like a little bit off topic, but yeah, we're building a ferocious agent attraction strategy right now. We actually got a strategy from one of the top teams in California who recruits a lot. And when I say a lot of agents, I mean a lot of agents. And we basically got on a phone call with him the other day, and he broke down his whole strategy for us. And so, so right now we are like going in and engineering everything right now. And so that I'm very excited about that. But yeah, maybe once we get it up and running and we start to get some results from it, I'll maybe create another one for you guys, because I know there's an affiliate. There's an affiliate aspect to iCONNCT, and so. But yeah, if nobody has any other questions, I hope that was valuable for you all. Actually, let me know. Everybody, give me a thumbs up in the chat if it was something of value, because again, like I want to make sure that I'm just delivering value to you all. If there's anything that we could do better for the next Friday or next Tuesday, then just let me know. And then, and I love it. So I love the engagement from you all. And so these questions are super helpful. All the questions from you all are super helpful. And it just gives us more ideas to then give really great content back to you all. And so heading into this week, I hope every single one of you guys open some escrows, start some new real estate conversations. I hope you guys, have some buyer consultations and listing presentations that go super well and result into some signed contracts. If there's anything that we can do, please provide link to website if possible. Thank you. Yep. And so, Lainey, can you just put in I'm assuming, Giovanni, you're talking about the iConnect website, iConnect.com. That's our website. But yeah, if anybody else has any sort of questions, you guys can one-off with me. You can find me at, I'm the one actually manning the email. So support at iConnect.com is our email, or you can go onto our Instagram, our Facebook. We have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, and it's at iConnect_official. Hope everybody, holy cow. I need another espresso shot or something. It's the end of the week. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Friday and hope you all enjoy your weekend.